Hey everyone, it's Rob with Passport to the Park. Sorry about the delay there. It is June the 3rd, and we are here live tonight. I appreciate you hanging around for the last couple minutes and joining in the conversation and the fun tonight. I do apologize, like I said, for a little bit of a delay. My daughter had been taking a nap, and she literally woke up like 2 minutes before my stream started and said she was hungry, so I had to boil up some hot buttered noodles for her because she loves that. So she's happy, I'm happy, and I think we'll be good to go here. So again, I appreciate you guys being here. A little different format than I usually do. Usually I'm out about in the parks, as you all know, and I love that you all hang around with me in the parks and we all have a great time. And one of the things that I've always done in the parks is definitely follow the Disney Skyliner. It's like one of my favorite things over the past couple of years. I love everything the Disney parks, but kind of a transportation geek and love like the monorail, the buses, but really got into the Disney Skyliner over the past couple of years. And one of the things that I wanted to do was really kind of look back at a lot of the footage, pictures, those kind of things that I had accumulated along the way. And there's a ton of stuff out there, so we're not going to get to it all in one sitting for sure. But we'll go through and we'll look at stuff. And I have stuff that's on YouTube. I have just some regular stock footage that I have. I have pictures. I'm really not that great of keeping track and good order of things. So I'm going to do my best to kind of go through and just kind of piece together from the earliest stages that I started really doing this, through, my first ride and those kind of things. So, like I said, it'll probably take a few episodes to get through this. We're not going to do this all night. We'll break it up into different sections. And what else here? My last couple episodes, maybe a little controversial and not anything that I'm really going to apologize for. I did a couple live streams in regards to the current events that are going on in our nation, and felt really strongly that to bring some voice to that, as small as a voice that I may have. I think if everybody takes the opportunity to bring some sort of voice to what's going on in the world, I think it would turn out better for everyone. It's kind of a bummer because I actually lost like 50 subscribers since I posted those two videos, and it's not a bummer that I lost the subscribers. I think it's more of a bummer that they would unsubscribe based on those videos, because I rarely get unsubscribing. I get people that subscribe because they love Disney, and I understand it's completely out of the realm of things that I do. But I just felt very strongly about making it an awareness issue, and like I said, I was kind of bummed that people would actually unsubscribe because of that. But like I said, we're not out of the Disney game whatsoever, in the theme park game. That is what I do, and that's what I love. And I said that I would keep doing these videos. So I do appreciate a lot of people coming on here. And let's see, my moderators, Pete here and Cape 6, thank you for being here. I appreciate that. Jared, welcome. Susan, welcome. G. Wilson, Resort Budgeting, always great to have you here. Let's see, the Sure Mutts 60. Hopefully I said that right. I apologize if I didn't, but hello. Disney Hustins, welcome. Justin Platt, looked like you got some of your messages deleted. Thank you for the moderators for stepping in there. Try to keep it clean here, guys. If if you don't want to be here to have fun, then just don't participate. I'd appreciate that. But thank you guys. Pete here. Let's see. Fryer in Maine has been canceled this year due to coronavirus beginning in October. The Freiburg Fair. I'm sorry. Wow, stuff already being canceled. More stuff because of the coronavirus. Slow down, move over, and share the road with the cyclist. Who's looking forward to Disney reopening? I bet you a lot of people are. Actually, Universal Studios opened today to kind of some mixed reviews, so I'm not sure exactly what is going to happen with that. This was only a pass holder preview for Universal Studios, and it seemed to have some issues. There were some issues getting into the parks, a lot of long wait times. It seemed some people were saying that it was a little too crowded, and that was just the preview. So probably a good thing that Disney, like I said, has waited another month to open so they can kind of feel out what's going on and what they can do better. And you know, make some corrections, maybe looking at what Universal's doing. So looking forward to seeing what Disney's going to do. I haven't heard anything about the reservation system or anything yet, as far as pass holders and things like that. So we'll be definitely looking out for that. Who else do we got here? See, George, can't wait to see how things go in July. Rakesh, hey, welcome. Yay, I've missed you, Disney Hustins. Thank you so much. I missed you guys too. Resort budgeting, Mr. Cruise Fever, hello. Feel the rhythm, feel the rhyme, get up. It's Skyliner time. Absolutely. I'm just yapping along here, but we'll waste a couple minutes saying hello to everybody. Braves Country 75, welcome. Charles Harris, hey, don't worry about the unsubs. You can't please everyone all the time. Yeah, I'm not worried about it. Like I said, I'm more worried about people actually unsubscribing because of something like this. I mean, it's just kind of gives me an icky feeling that you know, people wouldn't give voice to what's going on in the world. But we're not here to do that tonight. Philip Joseph, welcome. Great to see you, my friend. Dave C. They will learn from the preview. I totally agree. Michael, hey Rob, can't wait for more normal videos. Yeah, I can't wait to get out there either. As scary as it is, you know, it's like a weird thing. It's like you're nervous about, you know, going out because you don't know about getting sick and if everything is going to be okay and how things are going to work. And, you know, everybody's up in arms about the mask situation and all this stuff. And but then there's also the excitement about getting back out there. I haven't been out there in so long, and just to walk up Main Street again and to feel those Disney feelings and those Disney vibes is going to be a pretty amazing thing. One thing that when I was at Disney Springs, the only thing that I did notice is when you're back in that feeling, you're back in that situation, you kind of lose yourself for a little bit. When we were first there, you know, we were walking around and we were distancing and making sure that we were doing things right. And then we kind of got inside the world of Disney, and things, your mind just starts to go, you're back in Disney, and, you know, there's people coming from all directions and stuff. And if people start bumping in and you're not spacing like you should, and it's going to be difficult when you're inside Disney. Your mind's going to go other places. So being socially aware is going to be kind of difficult to maintain during that. Like I said, more people coming on. I will get you along the stream here, I do promise. But I am going to basically, when I got into the Disney Skyliner, it was a couple of years ago. They had started the process already, and I had just gone through a surgery, and I was recovering from surgery, and I was just starting to get back out and about. This was prior to like 2018, like the beginning of 2018, and they had just, you know, started laying foundations, just started some of the work. A couple of the towers have gone up, those kind of things. So I didn't really know much about the Skyliner, and I really wasn't too, like, it wasn't in the forefront of things. Like, it was kind of hard to just go and see some of the stuff being built. And then I think it was in February is when I got my first picture. It was at Epcot. And give me 1 second. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Okay, sorry about that. I was at Epcot, and I saw they had a picture there. And in fact, let me find this picture and bring it up for you guys. It was the very first picture that I had taken. Get this over here. Remember how to do this here. Okay, so that was the very first picture that I taken. That is at International Gateway, and they had actually raised a beam. It was a 90-foot beam that I assume they were measuring or doing some sort of I forget what they call it when you're somebody help me in the chat here, surveying the land, you know, trying to look down and see height wise and everything to clear trees and all that for towers. But this was one of the first pictures that I had taken. Let me see if there's any more of them here. I know I have more. Come on. Okay, so there we go. There's the full beam right there. And I thought that, wow, this is like the beginning of the station. This is going to be like a tower. I actually thought this was going to be one of the towers themselves, and because I had no clue what this actually was, and I know how high it was going to be. I didn't know anything about Doppelmayr. I didn't know anything about gondolas or these things. Actually scared me to death. The only thing that I had ever had any experience with was in Tennessee and Chattanooga. They had some sort of, it's like a tram or something that they took up one of the mountains there, and I was scared to death even to look at that thing and go up it. So really didn't interest me too much at the time. And again, this is what I thought was going to be one of the towers, just this one metal beam, and it was going to hold it up, and just a lot of craziness. Didn't know exactly what we were in store for along the way. But some of the other pictures I took, this was like the concept art, the original concept art that was on the fence. And this is what it was going to look like, and it was going to be so majestic, and you're going to have these beautiful views coming into Epcot and all this. And of course they had the gondola map there. This is the very famous map that we're all used to, and of course the central hub right there at Caribbean Beach, and up to Riviera. And we're like, what is Riviera? What the heck is that going to be? Nobody knew at the time. And down to Pop Century and Art of Animation and Hollywood Studios, and how the heck is this thing going to work? Nobody really knew. So it sort of piqued my interest a little bit, but I didn't start doing videos or anything like that. I didn't really, I took a couple pictures here and there, but I was doing, character meet and greets and, all that other kind of fun stuff. So there was another, the look at the station itself. That's what the station was going to look like, obviously. And there's the close-up of that beam. And of course, that's the gondolas. We didn't know, were they all going to be characters? Were there going to be characters on the inside or the outside? And, is this exactly what it was going to look like? And just all these cool feelings and trying to figure this out. And I was, again, totally clueless. I didn't know what a sheave was, or I didn't know what a gondola was, or a grip, or a haul rope, or any of that kind of stuff that I'd learned along the way. And it's funny because I went back and looked at, some of these videos through the past, and some of the terminology and stuff that I refer to. It's funny because I learned so much along the way, and I'd refer to things not knowing exactly what they were, and just in layman's terms and stuff like that. And it was just fun to go back and look at that kind of stuff. But again, those are just some of the very first pictures that I took. Hey, isn't that cool? It's my screensaver. So let's see here. More people coming on, hopefully. Let's see, Michael, how about this for a video topic? You going into the phone store to get that Galaxy S20 you've been talking about. I do have it on order. It's I have it coming, and it's just taking forever. Not that I could really use it for anything right now until I really get back out and about. But I do promise that I did have it coming, so waiting for that slowly. Street Cred, awesome to have you here. Wow, it's really been a couple of years already since the start of the Skyliner. Yeah, that was, again, that picture was back in February of 2018, and they actually had already started some foundations, had a couple towers up, but again, it wasn't anything that I was following. Didn't even know where the towers were, didn't even know what the routes were going to be for the towers. I think that was like the first time that I actually saw that Skyliner map, when I took that picture of where it was going to go. And you don't really have a good picture of the overall route in your head at first. After seeing it over and over and over again, I could do it in my sleep, but it's just things you learned along the way. But it's kind of fun to look back at something like that. Lisa Warden, hey, you're late, but don't worry, you haven't missed much of anything yet. We just looked at a couple pictures, and like I said, we're going to go multiple videos on this. We'll get through some of the first videos and stuff, and take a look at that. Funport 2, hello, welcome. Resort Budgeting, thanking Michael. We Too Disney and Beyond, howdy. What's up, Woody? G. Wilson, did not realize the cost of the building, the monorail versus the Skyliner, $15 million per mile for the monorail, from what I read. Yeah, it's extremely expensive. That's why they haven't done it. It's always been a money issue. just replacing the monorails is a huge money issue. So replacing the track itself or expanding the track is huge money. So that's why they've really designated, going to the Skyliner route, and hopefully we're going to see more of it in the future. I would definitely think of seeing more Skyliner than I would monorail track anytime in the near future. JW Dasso, awesome to have you here. Hey Rob, I love talking Disney with you as well, my friend. I always appreciate everyone being here chatting Disney. Just having a good time tonight. Let me take another drink here. David Cantrell, welcome. All right, let me jump and find one of the videos here. Again, some of these videos I feel are kind of cheesy, and they're just the way I talk and the way they're filmed and stuff like that. It's funny to go back and look and to see how things progress over the years as well. So give me 1 second. Let me load this up here real quick. This is one of the first ones that I posted on YouTube. And this really wasn't even a Skyliner update. Hang on 1 second. This was I was doing construction updates of course I always go through the resorts, and Caribbean Beach was doing a lot of construction at the time as well. So I sort of incorporated the Skyliner in with the Caribbean Beach. So it was more Caribbean Beach, and hey, they're doing this weird Skyliner thing as well in the background. So that's kind of what a lot of this video is, and I may punch through a little bit as we go along. But let's see here. That's my old screenshot right there. Hey, look at the difference. I put a little bit on here.
Caribbean Beach.
Oh, let me turn the audio on. Sorry about that.
What was going on with some of the construction, and I wanted to catch some of the Skyliner possibly going up. So let me show you what I found here. You can see in the distance back there that they're actually putting up some of the elevated track for the Skyliner.
The elevated track.
3 pillars up.
That's what I call it.
The pulley system, or the wheel system, where the cables will go. As I was pulling up, they were actually raising where that crane is there. They were actually raising that unit on top of the tower there.
So yeah, when I had started, they had already raised those 2 towers in the distance back there, and I don't actually have my mouse turned on the screen here. I'm sorry, but and they were you can see the crane there is putting the sheaves on top of the tower itself, and the Caribbean Beach station was just starting. The foundation was coming up, and again, just a very far shot across the street and everything. Just kind of funny as in depth as I would start getting with this, how I started.
So that was pretty neat to watch. Sorry I missed that for you, but
Am I in the picture?
nope, go for it. Bye-bye.
Everybody crossing their golf carts.
People driving by in their golf carts. But anyways, that's where some of the track is actually going to run, and that will eventually
golf
run
carts in
between
Disney.
Art of Animation, Pop Century, here through the Caribbean, and over to...
This video was recorded, I suppose I should have looked at that. Let me look here real quick. This was February 12th of 2018, so we're still back in February. February 1st is when I took that first initial shot at Epcot. So the station had not even, the foundation and everything wasn't even laid over at Epcot yet on February 1st. So this is February 12th, just a couple weeks later, when I head over to the Caribbean Beach. And this is when it really started to pique my interest, because like I said, I saw that steel beam over there. I'm like, what the heck is this thing? I got to start, paying a little more attention to this. And nobody was. Nobody was covering this. There were some construction updates and stuff out there, but nothing really with the Disney Skyliner. And I started doing it pretty often and more, and then it just kind of seemed like, you know, more and more people were like, oh, this Disney Skyliner thing is happening, and I started learning a lot of it along the way, and I think people just sort of you know, started flocking to what I was saying, because I was learning about it and the information about it and trying to give good feedback, and you know, just share that sort of joy of something new happening along the way.
Epcot and Hollywood Studios. In the other distance here,
and
you
I'll
can
get
see that
good
they're
as we go along with
working
videos.
on
My
the Riviera,
footage gets a little better along the way too. I think.
Looks like
so.
they got about maybe 4 or 5 stories up.
Riviera barely there.
That's going to be a pretty impressive hotel once that goes up. I did drive by the Centertown area, and still a lot of construction going on. You can see it in the distance there as well. Still sort of scattered. Everything is still outside. There's food trucks. They have the temporary restaurants
not even
outside
built
with
Port Royale.
and
they were doing all that new construction at the Caribbean as well.
But they seem to be coming along pretty quick. Kind of construction.
I think I go
towers or
still standing on the bridge.
Year, this will all be different.
Let me see if the station is on here. I believe it is. Yep.
Okay. A lot better.
I thought I got a little closer to the station, but so those are some of my original updates. Was just basically standing there in the road and panning the camera around and showing wide shots and things like that. So as we progress along the way, I believe my updates progressed with me, which I guess happens anytime you do something. You learn things and you learn how to do things a little bit better, and just got more excited about the things, obviously. Jeffrey Davis, hello. Drove by a Doppelmayr SP production facility here in Salt Lake City, Utah. Wow. They got a production facility in Salt Lake. That's interesting. I knew they were all like European, so I didn't know they actually had any kind of headquarters over here. That's pretty cool. Michael, what was it a money issue behind not locating the Epcot Skyliner station next to the Epcot monorail station? What makes guests walk through the park to get from one to the other? That would have made the park. You know, I don't have the official answer for that. My best answer would be, you know, they didn't want to. I mean, it could be they just didn't have the room for it up there. They wanted to expand that international gateway area and make that more of a centralized hub back there. They knew if they could probably spread it around because of the crowds and things like that, you know, to, you know, as the crowds are dissipating at night, I think it actually makes more sense instead of everybody just, you know, trying to bombard their way through that front entrance. I think it makes a lot of sense that a lot of the larger resorts actually come through the International Gateway now, so it dissipates the crowds a little bit more. And just the way the Skyliner track was running as it's coming through the boardwalk parking lot there, you know, they'd have to run it further, run it over Epcot. Maybe they didn't want to do that, or you'd be, you know, if they didn't run it directly over the park, you would be to the left of the park a little bit, which is a lot of backstage area. So maybe they didn't want to run it over top of all that backstage area. So I'm sure there's a bunch of different issues. Just probably why go the extra distance, and it just makes more sense to dissipate crowds into 2 exits instead of just funneling them all out into one exit. Will be my best guess for that. Disney Houston's. You told me that before. It's pronounced Houston's, and I always say Huston's. I'm sorry about that. We couldn't wait for this to finish. We visited as often as possible and followed you for the regular updates, which is always appreciated. I always appreciate you guys following along, and just so much fun. Just so much fun along the way doing this. Michael, love that the Caribbean Beach Gondola has a Joffrey's with great donuts and really good tea. Yeah, putting a Joffrey's there is a great idea. Just really good coffee. My daughter loves the hot chocolate. She gets it there all the time. But just a nice idea to get your coffee right before you get on and you go over to the parks and stuff like that. So pretty smart on their part for sure. So let's back out of this, and let me go back to find something else here. We'll kind of move on with our order. Let's see. I have the Skyliner. Let's see this. This is the Art of Animation. This was a Art of Animation and Pop Century Resorts Disney Skyliner update. So let's see what this one's all about.
Oh.
Hang on a second. All right, let's bring that back.
Good morning, everyone. It's Rob with Passport to the Parks, and it is Wednesday, February 14th. Happy Valentine's Day. Today I came over to the Art of Animation and Pop Century. I'm actually right in between the two, and we're taking a look at some more of the Disney Skyliner. I'm really impressed with this whole Skyliner system. It's something I'm really looking forward to. So I brought you over here to show you where one of the hubs will be, one of the stations, so you can get a better idea of
It sounds so monotone.
what it will look like in the future.
It's just funny
Let's go ahead and
watching
take a look.
watching myself.
Go ahead.
Are you done?
Yep. Sorry, just gonna let people go by. Here's some of the concept art for it. This is an actual wall that they have built.
Yeah, this is talking
over
about the
bridge. And I'm on
what
Hourglass
it's going to
Lake.
be. Let's see if we can find the actual
the lake
station
that's-
itself. That's a little more fun to look at.
Actually see some of the construction that's going on. Please pardon our appearance. This area is being refurbished for your future enjoyment.
Yes, and it was
We'll look
definitely
forward to that.
enjoyable.
A little bit
So
of
you can see they haven't even-
art of
Nothing with the bathroom over here to the left. That's where the restrooms were put. So that didn't start till, a year and a half later
animation.
or so.
It's a very beautiful day today.
Just look at that. Walking through the Art of Animation again and missed that so much.
And as we come around the wall, you'll see some of the progress here. They have some barges out. that the
No
cranes
station.
are on.
I remember they just had that foundation was laid.
You see a little bit of the base going up for what would be the station. And again, this is, from what I hear, is projected to be done sometime next year, which would be pretty awesome.
Just real quick, I see a lot of people in the comments talking about the expansion, whether or not they're going to expand. My thoughts, and I know that prior to the to everything that happened in the park shutting down, that there was a meeting that was had about the expansion, and that they really wanted to concentrate on the Animal Kingdom and Disney Springs to eventually get over there. Now, the Disney Springs, personally, I think would be in a secondary phase. I just don't see the volume for Disney Springs. I think that's more of just a luxury, getting over there and spreading transportation to all facets of all the parks and the shopping districts. But the Animal Kingdom, definitely. And I actually have some animated footage. I was going to put together a video, and I never did it yet. I'm still kind of in the middle of working on it, about a phase 2 project, what I think it would be. And I really do believe that it would come it would be geared in with the Art of Animation, because you have the station there, and basically on the opposite side of Hourglass Bridge, or the Friendship Bridge, or Generation Gap Bridge. I always call it, I think it's Generation Gap Bridge. I think we had that debate at another time, but to basically come off the opposite end, come down the opposite side of Hourglass Lake, And at that point, you can basically branch over down Osceola Parkway to the All-Star Resorts. And I think they would put another central hub either at the All-Star Resorts or at the Blizzard Beach, because you can actually branch off. Say they put it at the All-Star Resorts, you could branch off to Blizzard Beach and then up Buena Vista Drive to Coronado Springs. And then you could also branch from the All-Stars over to the Animal Kingdom at that point. So something similar to what you would see at the Caribbean Beach, the All-Star Resort could become that centralized hub, or Blizzard Beach. They're both right there, sort of next to each other. And then you would have the whole system would be able to link up at that point through the Art of Animation. So you would depart at Art of Animation, get on, head over to the All-Star Resorts. You could puddle jump to the different All-Star Resorts from that if they were to do puddle jumping. Skyliner stations to the different sports, music, and movies. And then at that hub, it would work just the same as the Caribbean Beach. You would get off, and I want to go to Animal Kingdom, or I want to go to Blizzard Beach, or to Coronado Springs, or I'm just here to go to the All-Star Resorts. So think of it as hubs. I think I've seen a couple other people have talked about, well, they can just expand through the turn there at Boardwalk, and that's not designed to be a transfer. That's just a turn. You can't centralize a station there. You can't transfer to another gondola from there, and you can't just have gondolas go, one direction and have them, other gondolas go in another direction. It would be too hard to keep track of where the different gondolas were going. So that's not going to be a feasible thing. So I'm digressing here. I just saw in the comments. I do remember with this more golf carts, you can hear them. Art of Animation and Pop
Kind of
Century,
hard to tell from this wide of a shot.
Always have golf carts.
And when we're live, we really can't zoom, unfortunately. But
so no towers.
In the distance there, just to the left of that crane in the trees is again one of the towers that has the wheel, the pulley system on it. So that's the direction that you would head.
So yeah, only one tower at that point where that crane was, and that's the tower that comes up onto the land, and you can see the pillars in the water there, the beams that would eventually be the foundations to where the two towers in the water would go. So that's pretty neat to see. I mean, those aren't even there, and we see those built in future videos. But this foundation took forever. I kept thinking to myself, wow, when is this station ever going to get built? But you think about it, they're literally building this thing in the middle of a lake, and there's so much foundation work. Underwater, I'm sure they had to lay so much concrete and stabilize that so much. The land in Florida already is completely unstable, and then you add water on top of it. It just took a very long time to make sure that this foundation was completely stabilized. Not just the foundation itself, having to be a structure that can withhold a station and all that weight and people and everything, but the force of the towers themselves, and to be able to place the towers there and have the all the gondola weight and all of the tension on the towers and things like that. So this was probably their most complex station. In my personal opinion, this is probably the hardest one that they had to build. That's why Epcot hadn't even been started yet, because Epcot was just kind of went up, and Hollywood Studios, same thing. Kind of went up a little easier, just in my opinion. Again, I'm no expert on that, but
we would leave the station here, head over Hourglass Lake, and down towards the Caribbean Beach Resort. Have a lot of cast members in their golf carts this morning there, trying to get the
That's
resort
one thing I did
together.
learn about the Art of Animation is, especially during the day, all the because it's so
gonna be
big,
beautiful when it's done.
all the
These
housekeeping and
cars are
stuff that
basically
has to
just
go
gonna come out
around
of the station and
those golf
over
carts.
the lake, and it's going to be a sight to see. And when you ride in this, it's going to be even better. You're going to get a great view in between both resorts, great view of Caribbean Beach. It's just going to be a lot of fun.
Michael, thanks for being here, my friend. You got to get up at 4 a.m.
So we will keep bringing you more progress as it goes along. They seem to be coming along pretty quick.
So again, these were most of my updates at the time were just kind of based on, you know, just kind of checking out the station, and I guess there really wasn't much else to see. You know, I didn't start walking around and do things intricate until further videos, but again, just kind of neat to go back and see when there's nothing there to what it is now. And you know, you just see those poles in the water where eventually the foundation for the towers would be. Just kind of a neat thing to see for sure. The Bomo, welcome if I didn't see you before. Thank you for being here. JW Dasso, did you just not wear your hat when on camera? I just started wearing the baseball hats more in future videos. I like never wore them, and then all of a sudden I started wearing them, and now like I wear it all the time. This thing has been through, I mean, it's like completely sun faded, and this is my Passport to the Parks hat, which I think is pretty cool. Let's see, Prince Alex 1988. Due to issues with the airline, my return flight was delayed by a day, so got to ride on opening day just to miss it if all went as planned. Well, that was pretty cool. That's karma looking out for you, I guess, where you actually got to ride because of a flight delay. So you didn't get to take your original flight, but you got to take a better flight before you left. That's pretty cool. Ken Wilson, always love your Skyliner updates, Rob. We're so glad when I happened upon your channel sometime in late summer 2018. Can't wait to finally get back to Walt Disney World so I can finally ride the Skyliner myself. Absolutely. I think we all are just sort of biting at the bit to get back there, to experience whatever it is that we love about Disney. And, you know, be it the Skyliner or the monorails or Peter Pan or It's a Small World. Blech. I'm just kidding. Small World is awesome. It's just, it can be kind of annoying when you get stuck on it all the time. But yeah, we got to get back to Disney, and I just hope that everything runs smoothly. But again, that is a completely different conversation. G. Wilson, we stayed at Pop 2 years ago when they were building the station. So you remember this view. And again, it was kind of one of those things where you didn't know much about it. You're walking out and you're like, oh, what is this thing going to look like, and how's it going to work? And of course, so many times I heard, well, it's just they're building it over water. Are they crazy? How long before it falls into the water? And, you know, the 1,000 alligators that are there just have a feast. Yeah, not going to happen. Very, very safe system, as we obviously see. It's not going anywhere. And it just hasn't ran for quite a while. Hopefully they will start running it even with the pandemic. Who knows how they're going to do that. You know, they're going to have to space that out, social distance. Maybe you can just ride with your family members, or, you know, if you're in there with somebody, masks are definitely going to be required, and they may put one in each corner. So it's an enclosed space. They can open the windows, but, you know, it'll be interesting to see how they do that with all the transportation, the buses and the boats, and you know, getting groups of people together is going to be a challenge for sure. I think they're going to phase 2, from what I heard. Phase 2, like this week or next week, at least in Florida. So I'm not sure about other areas, but Lori French saying goodnight to Michael. Yes, thank you again, Michael, for being here. Charles, I was able to book a room-only reservation for September 29th to October 5th, 2021 for the 50th anniversary celebration. Only 483 days to go. Back to countdowns. I haven't seen a countdown in forever. Everybody always used to put their countdowns in the chats, so it's good to see that somebody actually has a countdown again. That's good. JW Dasso sounds just like Peter Pan. Philip, watching the videos made me homesick for the resorts. Yeah, just seeing Pop's entry there is really a sight for sore eyes for sure. So it'll be nice to get back there and see that again. So let me take a look here. Let me look at some of my pictures again. Let's see, February 1st was that picture that I had at Epcot. Let me see what these are. Okay, so here's February 10th. pull this up here. So that's February 10th. 9 days after that first picture that I took, these were 4 more beams that they had put up. So this was pretty cool. So that had to be some of the foundation for the wall framing for the station itself, I would believe. Actually, you know what? I think these beams went up and then they pulled them down again. So unless they cut them, maybe they put them up and they cut them or something like that. But I don't know. I don't recall seeing what happened after this, and I don't think I have a picture. I just have a few of these pictures from February 10th. And let's see what other pictures I have here. And kind of hard to keep track of this. I'm not a very organized YouTuber. Let's see here. Let's see, that was February 10th. Then I can go to, I think we're still in February in the videos. March 26th. See what this is. Oh, I actually remember taking this picture. This was this is the entrance to, which one would it be? This is the entrance to Pop Century, I believe. This is the tower. And again, this is, I think this is like one of the first towers that I saw, because I had been driving, I believe up until this point. Yeah, because my videos, I think I started doing the videos like the end of March, early April. So up until this point, I hadn't seen like towers. And like I said at the beginning of this live stream, that that beam that I first saw at Epcot, I thought that was going to be like one of the towers. So I believe this was the actual first tower in February that I saw, because I was driving around like, where are these towers at? I don't see any of them. They hadn't, I don't think they had built them in at Hollywood Studios or anything yet. And so this is the first one. This is the entrance going in as you're driving into the resort. And I remember taking this like, oh wow, that was completely different than what I assumed that they were going to be like. This actually looks like something that could, you know, support a bunch of people. So kind of a cool picture there. And I remember because we had to pull over actually on the side there to take that picture. It's kind of neat going down memory lane. Okay, what else do we have here? I am in, what did I say I was in here? That one was on February the 14th. Then I have February 16th. And then I think I have some stock footage as well that I'll go back and look at. I have to check my video folder for that. Some of the stuff I don't think I saved. Like I would make the video and then post it, and I didn't save like a lot of the stock footage. And then I started saving some of the stock footage, and then I started filming stuff like on my phone and didn't really save that. I was just, you know, filming and uploading because I was doing it like every day, and it took too long to come back and try to edit stuff. So I was just like shooting to edit and just uploading it from my phone and all that. So a lot of stuff that I actually have recorded is stuff that's on YouTube itself. But it is kind of funny to go back and look at some of my stock footage before I edited it. Edit it. Is that a word? And take a look at that kind of stuff. But let's see, I have Disney Skyliner update. What is this? Disney Skyliner update Hollywood Studios, and this was on February the 16th, which is actually my sister's birthday. Let me take a look at this real quick. Give me 1 second. Scott, 37 days till your arrival. 37 days, wow. You're like cutting it right to when they open here. Cape 6 not going to be back in Disney until August 1st of 2021. That's a great time to come, though. Hopefully everything will be way past by then, and we'll be back to normal circumstances. And you'll be here right before the 50th, so that will be awesome. Definitely have to hook up if you do come. That would be very cool to meet up somewhere. G. Wilson, we had booked a Walt Disney World trip for Thanksgiving this year, but decided to move it to 2021. It's probably a smart thing because nobody knows what's going to happen, especially with, over the summer. I think it's going to be, things are opening up and, we're thinking everything's good. And then nobody knows if it's going to, reoccur in the fall. Just nobody knows. So Thanksgiving probably could have been, risky if you had that. It's probably better to move it because they may, who knows if they're going to shut stuff down again. Hopefully not, but we'll have to wait and see. All right, so again, this will be Hollywood Studios, and this is February 16th of 2018.
Hey everyone, it's Rob with Passport to the Parks, and it is Friday, February 16th, and I am shooting one last video here before I leave Hollywood Studios. I'm all the way in the back of the parking lot here at Donald Duck Music, and I wanted to give you a quick shot.
That guy dyed all the white out of my beard.
Disney Skyliner construction. So let me turn the camera around and we'll take a look. So what is going on back here is a couple things. They're actually extending the parking lot, so there's going to be some more parking, which is great. But there's also going to be this is where the Skyliner is actually going to come through into Hollywood Studios. It's kind of hard.
So that is the wooded area that you come through Hollywood Studios parking lot, and then you go over the trees to the Caribbean beach. So they really hadn't even cleared the tree line yet. They had just started clearing the tree line, so no towers there. That final tower in the parking lot isn't there. I believe I don't think it's there yet. And just kind of neat to see. They were just
hard to tell from this angle, but there's sort of a path cut to the woods that goes all the way out to Victory Way. So the Skyliner will come from Disney's Caribbean Beach. It'll cross over Victory Way, which is the road that runs in front of Art of Animation and Pop Century. It'll come through these woods, over the back of the parking lot here, cross over our heads, and take us all the way up to the front entrance by where the trams and the buses drop off. So as it does that, they're promising to have a pretty spectacular view of the tower.
So look at that. The parking lot view without any of the towers there. That's pretty crazy. They had all that area fenced off because that's where the construction was going to happen for the towers and all that, and then eventually they would extend that parking lot and just make Hollywood Studios a much better experience getting in and out of the parks. And you were still entering off of Buena Vista Drive at that point before they moved to the new entrance, and this is really back in the original stage
terror as you go by, which I can imagine it's gonna go right past it there. But that's where it's gonna come in. And they're definitely hard at work still. Again, they're looking at completion to be for next year, which I'm really hoping, because I'm excited to take a ride on it and see how well this is going to work and get people around.
Hey, Resort Budgeting, thank you so much. Thanks, Rob, for the blast from the past. It's not much, but I appreciate you and the coverage. Thank you so much, $4.99 Super Chat, my friend. Very much appreciated. Just having fun doing this. Sharing it with you guys is worth more than anything. It's putting a smile on my face, just kind of going back and seeing this for sure.
Hey, Victoria.
You guys will enjoy it.
Yep, we're here taking a look at the Skyliner. It's coming along very quickly. This is the cut-in for Disney Hollywood Studios. And again, it'll cross over the parking lot and take us past the Tower of Terror. And
so yeah, that's pretty cool to see. Let's continue on here a little bit. So that was February 16th. Then I jumped to March 28th. Let me check my regular footage. I don't think I have. Let me check my my actual videos here. Okay, so March 26th is where this starts, and this would be March 28th. So what do I got on March 26th here? Give me 1 second. This looks like maybe some Caribbean beach stuff. So this will be across the Lake of Caribbean Beach. There he goes. There's that is the Caribbean Beach hub right there. That is the basically just the central framework for the Caribbean Beach itself. That's crazy. None of the trees have been cleared out of there, and they're just building the frame. I got some more. Let's keep going here.
Now this is the central hub that's going to be here at the Caribbean Beach Resort, and this will actually interconnect to the Disney Hollywood Studios, and you can connect here to go to Epcot and the Riviera Resort and over to Pop Century and the Art of Animation. So this will be a central hub to do all that.
And again, I'm just figuring that out, just kind of piecing it together from looking at the map and just some of the things that I'm trying to figure out. There's nothing online. Disney hadn't released anything. So this is just figuring out, like, okay, Caribbean Beach is supposed to stop there, and it looks like it branches off over to Hollywood Studios and everywhere else. So this is probably going to be the central hub where everything goes. Not knowing at all how it was going to work or look. I think at this point I even thought that it was just going to pass through the station and make some sort of a turn to Hollywood Studios. I didn't even know that you would disembark there and get onto other gondolas. I thought it was just, you'd be on it and you'd just be turning inside that station and going in another direction. So the learning process was definitely in full effect here. But it's just that's crazy to see that right there. David Cantrell, $5 super chat. Thank you very much, my friend. Hey Rob, is there a possibility of a Skyliner? Here's for positivity. If I could do this, of Skyliner videos. Much joy. Loved watching you doing these while being built. That is awesome. I appreciate that. I of course love doing this all along the way. And I keep saying this. One of the coolest parts for me was learning this stuff along the way and meeting all kinds of cool people and understanding this process a little bit better. I think understanding it makes it so much cooler, at least for me, riding it now and seeing it in action and knowing exactly how every piece of it works and why this does that and how it's entering and leaving the stations, and it's just really cool. And then when you're riding with somebody and it's like their first time and you get to explain the process and why things are working that way, and what's that loud noise when you're leaving the station, and what's going to happen and how is it actually being pulled along, is there a motor, and blah 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 blah, all this kind of stuff. And it's just fun to share that with people. Grace, I watched all these Skyliner videos. I was there and rode the first day. I was so happy. Chose to stay at Pop. It made our trip. I think that was a great place to stay. Pop Century and Art of Animation now, I think, is really, really a great place to stay, just especially for the Skyliner. It's centrally located. You get both resorts, the amenities from both resorts. Just a very cool place to stay. Somebody had asked earlier, too, if they were talking about more deluxe resorts for the Skyliner. As far as deluxe goes, it's not considered a deluxe, but Coronado Springs should be a deluxe for everything you get there. I think that's where it's going to go, like I said, next, through the All-Star Resorts and then up to Coronado Springs as well. So eventually, they may get to some of the deluxe resorts. Actually, if you think about that, they may not. I don't see them running them to resorts like the Contemporary, Polynesian, those kind of things. If anything, it would run to the transportation and ticket center. And then they're not going to run to individual deluxe resorts like Boardwalk and Yacht and Beach and things like that, because they run to the International Gateway, and they consider that being part of that Epcot resort area. So if anything, deluxe resort wise, you're probably going to run at some point run into the transportation and ticket center, and then you'd be able to get your corresponding monorail to the deluxe resorts there. So I wouldn't see Skyliner stations in front of deluxe resorts anytime soon. Hopefully that answered the question there. Resort budgeting, was Riviera start being built yet? Yeah, back in a couple videos prior to this, I was at Caribbean Beach, and they had like 3 or 4 levels of the Riviera being built. And again, that was brand new as well. Like, nobody knew about the Riviera, what it was going to entail. And the feelings were just starting for the Riviera at that point. Like, they took down Barbados to build the Riviera, and it's going to be this this monstrosity that's going to ruin the Caribbean Beach and all this. And I think it turned out nice. I actually like the Riviera. Not too keen on so much the interior of it. It's very kind of low key, DVC. The lobby's not too grand and things like that, but the outside of it and the water area, the pool area and things like that are like top notch. It's beautiful, really beautiful on Barefoot Bay. The Caribbean Beach makes for a beautiful backdrop. The Skyliner makes for a beautiful backdrop, and just a really great place to go out there and enjoy yourself and have some food there. Watch the Epcot fireworks from there. So overall, I do like what happened with the Riviera. But yeah, seeing it being built, you get these feelings of, oh, what is happening? More changes, and why are they doing this? And why don't they build it somewhere else? And I've learned along the way and it's hard to do, to try not to, downplay things in my head and say, oh, this is going to be terrible, and why are they doing this? And just let it play out and let it see what the final product is going to be, because you just got to trust in Disney. They're pretty smart when it comes to doing this kind of stuff. So in the Skyliner too, we talked about for so long these Skyliner towers. They're going to paint these towers. They're eyesores, and oh, this is crazy. Now when I look at the Skyliner and I ride the Skyliner, the towers are like an afterthought. You don't even really pay attention to the towers anymore, because you see the beauty of the gondolas, and you see the colors and the characters and them soaring overhead, and just that backdrop of that motion is just breathtaking. And those towers have just disappeared. It's like painting the towers. Who cares if you painted the towers or not? That's what they are. They're just towers. It's the gondolas that steal the show. And so there you go. That's just my thought. Disney Lori, remembering hashtag Let Rob Ride. Yes. Nice to see the memories. Thanks. $9.99 super chat from Disney Lori. That is awesome. Thank you so very much. Much appreciated. Let Rob Ride. Yeah, that was fun for a while too. Did finally get to have that ride. A little bit of a snafu that's in future live streams once we get to that era of finally getting to ride. Getting on that first ride was a little bit bumpy, but we finally made that. Bob Baker, the Riviera did ruin the Caribbean Beach. It's out of place. All right, everybody has their opinion on that. Some people love it, some people hate it. Some people love the Skyliner, some people hate it. So that's one of the good things about Disney, though, is maybe you don't like something over here, but there's 100 other things over here that you probably love. So it's not going to fit for everybody. Again, I think I think it kind of works there. I don't see it as being completely out of place. Could it have gone somewhere else? Yeah, but I think at that point you lose that overall visual from the Riviera itself. Looking at the Caribbean Beach, overall, I think that's a beautiful view. Maybe not so much looking at the Riviera from the Caribbean Beach, but looking the opposite direction, I think it's beautiful where it's at. So I guess it's kind of a give and take thing. Dave, very nice, Disney Lori. Yes, absolutely. Thank you guys again for the super chats, Disney Lori. David Cantrell and Resort Budgeting. That is very awesome of you guys. Okay, I think I got some more of this footage here. And again, this could drag on. We're only into a couple videos here, and I literally have like hundreds of videos. And I know we won't see every single one. We'll skip some generations here along the way. I was just trying to figure out the best way to do this. And it's more of, sharing this and, sharing my thoughts and memories and stuff. So if you stick around for it, it's cool. If not, you can always go back and watch different parts of it and just have some fun with it. But appreciate you being here and doing this. Let me take a look here. I think we got more of the stations. Let me see what this is.
What's up? This is at the entrance, or towards the entrance of Disney's Pop Century Resort. So this is what they're going to look like. Thought this was pretty cool to see coming in.
So that's that picture.
And you can see there's more.
The very first picture that I took.
As you go farther back in the distance there, and that's heading down towards the Caribbean beach. Pretty awesome.
Let's see what else I got here. Hold on a second. So this is, I must have been jumping around from resort to resort here at the time. This is when I started doing, I think, more full construction updates. But this is back over at Pop Century. And again, this is going to be on March the 26th of 2018. Make sure my audio's on.
So here we are on the other side of the fence, and
this is all unedited footage here, so I could sound like an idiot.
That's being built to house the boarding and unboarding station. See the crane there?
The boarding and unboarding station.
Doesn't look like a whole lot of action right now, but they are definitely hard at work on it. Now you'll travel from that platform, and you would head out over Hourglass Lake, and you can see in the distance there, those are the towers that head to the Caribbean Beach Resort. And those are the towers that we saw coming into the Caribbean Beach earlier in the video. So it's going to be a pretty fantastic view when you leave the station as you kind of rise up onto the cables, and you'll have the Pop Century there across the lake, and then the Art of Animation here on the other side. It's really going to be beautiful. The construction that's going on.
So I rise up onto the cables, and this is before I had the my wireless mic, and I was just talking into the camera itself, and all that wind noise, and everybody would always complain about the wind noise and all that for so long. But you just work in stages, and just kind of figure it out as you go. JW Dasso $1.99 super chat. Riviera is expensive. Yes. I haven't looked at the price. It is DVC, so I don't know how the points and stuff work for DVC. I'm not very familiar with that, but I know you can, I believe, book there if they don't have it fully booked for DVC, that you can book there. So I'm sure it is. I mean, it's going to definitely, I think it's considered a deluxe resort, even though it's DVC. So, is it worth, would I pay that same money to stay there versus staying at like the Boardwalk or the Polynesian or Wilderness Lodge or something like that? I would definitely choose, Poly or Wilderness Lodge, especially. I think it's definitely geared more towards that DVC clientele. And if you're just going to go out and purchase a night, might be fun for one night if you get a room facing like Epcot, so you can watch the fireworks and stuff like that. But again, you can always run over there and you can, get a meal, go eat at what's up on the top there, Napoli, or I forget the restaurant names now. It's been so long, and check out the fireworks up there. But yeah, it is what it is. It's expensive to stay in a lot of these Disney resorts. Resort budgeting. Do you think we still might? Do you think they still might paint the towers? I do not. I don't think they will. And like I said, it doesn't. I don't think it matters. It doesn't bother me at all. There's no need to do it. And we had talked in some of these videos along the way at some point about painting the towers and reasons to paint them and probably not to paint them. If you paint them, that may, they have to go every now and then and check for, the stability of the towers for stress fractures and things like that. So painting them might make that a little more difficult, to check for those kind of things. They have actual like X-ray units and stuff that they use to X-ray the towers to make sure for stability and structure-wise that they're still operating and functioning the way they should. But painting the towers probably isn't going to happen, and personally, it doesn't have to happen for me. Prince Alex 1988, will you be doing construction updates for the Reflections Resort? Interested in DVC contract there when I can. Yeah, absolutely. We would, I would go and ride the boat transportation. You get really good views when you go past it on Bay Lake, and they had done a lot of land clearing, and they were really just doing most of that, laying the foundation, sewage and water and all that stuff. Nothing had gone up. Maybe they have actual structure up by now, but it's kind of hard because a lot of it is fenced off from Fort Wilderness itself, so it's hard to see much of the progress there. The most progress you're going to see is glimpses as you're on Bay Lake. So we'll ride back and forth and get as much progress of that as possible. It's going to be a beautiful resort from what I hear. A lot of cool stuff there. And again, fingers crossed that they do some sort of a tribute to River Country with their pool or their water park or whatever they're going to do there. Some sort of tribute to River Country would be pretty awesome. The one resort that you really can see very well is the Cove, which is being built over at the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. That has probably 3 or 4, maybe 5 stories built on it now, and that might be a little easier to follow once everything opens back up to follow along with that. So yeah, any kind of construction, I'm there to try to follow along with that. See if there's anything else worth looking at here. Maybe we'll move on. Let me check my stock video footage here. So that was March 26th. I have Skyliner cables November 2018. So I think this jumps ahead. Let me go back to YouTube here real quick and see. So let's see, we went from March 26th, and let's see, this would be in April at Hollywood Studios. Let me take a look at this real quick. Okay, let's see what we got going on here.
And today is Monday, April 2nd, and I am here at Disney's Hollywood Studios to
April
do
2nd,
a Disney Skyliner
2018
update. I really would appreciate it if you would hit that like button, and if you haven't done so, please consider subscribing to the channel here if you like the videos that I'm putting out. The Disney Skyliner is Disney's new transportation system that they're building here at Walt Disney World. And what it is, it's a gondola system. It's a gondola vehicle that's suspended by a high wire. And you can see in the distance behind me here, they're actually building the towers to support those high wires. And it'll take you from Hollywood Studios and Epcot to a few different resorts, including the new Disney Riviera resort that's being built, Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, Disney's Pop Century, and Disney's Art of Animation. So all those resorts will be interconnected within this new transportation system. So I'm here at Hollywood Studios today because they have really made some progress with the building of the towers behind me. So I'm going to do kind of a walkthrough here and show you exactly what's going on. And hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So come along with me.
Come on, spit it out.
So this is directly in front of Hollywood Studios. We'll show you the entranceway here. This would be the entrance to Hollywood Studios.
Oh, that Hollywood Studios music.
And directly out in front here, you'll find the new Skyliner. And this is where you will be dropped off, or you would board to get on to go to the different resorts or over to Epcot. And this is over by the current busing station. So if you're familiar at all, this is where the buses would drop off, and that is the tram area. So it's all going to be one centralized transportation hub up here.
So that's pretty cool. That is the old bus station there. You can find that again. So this is before they built the new bus stations. These are the old bus stops that hadn't been torn down yet.
Busing station. So if you're familiar at all, this is where the buses would drop off, and that is the tram area. So it's all going to be one centralized transportation hub up here.
So the new bus stations are located past the Skyliner station there on the opposite side of it. So that's kind of neat to see. Cape 6, are they doing construction in the parks right now? I believe they are. Like I said, what I've seen on Disney property, they've continued construction on that Cove Resort. But again, that's not Disney. That's actually owned by Marriott. So from what I've heard, they have been continuing the construction. So it'll be neat to see. I haven't driven down by the Magic Kingdom, so I haven't seen Tron. Tron is probably, if they continued it, Tron is probably, crazy right now. Probably the exterior building is up, and I mean, who knows? Grace, and they would have had to repaint them. Sun would fade them, not others. Yeah, a lot of issues with painting the towers. Disney Lori, is there a new hotel being built by the Swan and Dolphin? We covered that. Just with me yapping, I answer some of these questions sometimes. Let's see, I think I got caught up there. Sharon, welcome. Good to have you here. JDB also, Blog Mickey posted that construction has resumed. Very cool. Yeah, Blog Mickey's been keeping up with some stuff. Mike is a good guy over at Blog Mickey too. I've met him a few times along the way. We've ran into each other and talked a lot, and he's a good guy. So, and he really does work pretty hard as far as trying to get that, up to date stuff. So, thumbs up to Blog Mickey for sure.
As you can see a little closer, they do have some pillars up for the transportation station there.
So barely any station.
They do have towers in place. Looks like they have about 3 of them built in the parking lot now. And I'll go through the parking lot and get a little closer for you so you can check out each one. Have the oil booms in the water, which prevents any kind of oil spills or any kind of debris to contaminate the rest of the water area. Construction crews are definitely working hard to meet a 2019 deadline. There's not an actual date announced yet, but they say it's supposed to be done in 2019. The way they're moving along, I don't doubt that at all. It could be early 2019 because they're really moving fast on this. I'm really impressed with it. You can see they have the theme park buses and also charter buses over here. Like I said, there's the busing stations. Just try to get a few different angles for you here so you can see exactly what it's going to look like and get an idea of where it's going to be. It's going to be beautiful coming in. It's going to be a lot of fun to ride. So for the time being, about the next year, we're just going to have to deal with construction walls, which it isn't that bad. It's for a purpose, and it's going to definitely make some improvements here for transportation. We're trying to eliminate as much busing as possible. This is definitely going to be a go green type of scenario. Less fuel we can.
They built huge bus stations over there.
I love these dream builder signs that they always put on the outside of the walls with the different Walt Disney quotes. I'm just very curious. Got the more towers.
Let's jump ahead a little bit towards the parking lot.
The Skyliner will come into. So I have to share a little story with you guys. I was filming up front for the Skyliner footage, and when I was done, I was kind of walking back towards the tram area to get back to the parking lot, and one of the officers with one of the security dogs was walking by, and all of a sudden the dog came up on me really quick, came up from behind and started sniffing me up and down, and it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I turned around and asked him, "Is everything okay?" And he nodded, "Yeah." So I thought it was, maybe it was just, a normal thing. So I walk over to the tram to get on the tram, and I'm standing in line, and another gentleman comes over, a Disney employee, and he introduces himself as one of the head of security here, and starts talking to me a little bit about how they have been watching me because I've been filming, and you know, they were wondering what was going on. I had all the plainclothes guys checking me out. I had all the cameras on me apparently, and the dog, that was an intentional thing, that the dog came up and sniffed me for whatever he was sniffing me for.
I remember that. That was like the first time. Like, you know, you're walking around with a camera, you're filming stuff, and you know, I love Disney security to death, and we've talked about this many times. And I've, you know, most bloggers, they do, you know, they get questioned, what are you doing? You're walking around here with the camera, blah, 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 blah. And, you know, you tell them to be honest and everything's good to go. But they do. I'm going to get off of that pose for a minute. I don't know what I'm doing there. But, yeah, the different interactions with security and management and stuff has always been very, very good. You know, no major issues. Of course, they do an amazing job there. They keep everyone safe. And like I said, I always am a big advocate. I've said this many times. You know, for safety, that's Disney's number one rule is keeping everyone safe. So, you know, always cooperative with security, always follow the rules, never go behind the scenes, never do anything that you're not supposed to do. And, you know, if they ask you to do something, they ask you to stop. You know, it's happened, you know, multiple times. It's just what happens, and you comply, and that's just the way things go. But yeah, that was like the first time that it happened, and the dog like really freaked me out. The sniffer dog, you know, they come up and they're checking for whatever it is they check for, and but it's just kind of funny to, you know, how things would you know, happen after that, you know, multiple times and things like that. But security's always been cool. I've actually become friends with a lot of security. A lot of the cast members, a lot of times you go through security and stuff, and they're like, hey, you know, I watched your videos last night and all that, and very cool, and thumbs up always for the job they do. They have a very difficult job dealing not only with all the guests, but trying to deal with the issues at hand, and trying to keep everyone safe. And now they're going to have to deal with, you know, all these other issues on top of it, you know, with the coronavirus, and, you know, groups of people coming in, and you know, they're not going to be the ones doing the temperature checks and stuff, but just another added thing for cast members and for security and stuff to have to deal with. So, you know, us as bloggers don't ever want to add to that. So we always try to, at least me personally, I always try to, you know, abide by the rules and and to do things on the up and up, and cooperate, and just have a good relationship with Disney and security and everything. So it's just funny to watch that. I remember telling that story. But let me jump forward here a little bit and take a little bit better look at the parking lot.
Cut out. That's going to be where the Skyliner will come in over from the Caribbean Beach Resort. So here we are, guys, center of the parking lot, actually more towards the rear, I guess. And here is the second tower, the middle tower that's in the parking lot. Nice view of it. Surprised on how low this actually looks. When the gondola is hanging from the wire, this thing's gonna be fairly low. I mean, obviously it's gonna clear everybody's heads and the cars and everything, but it's gonna be a little lower than I thought it was gonna be.
I do remember thinking that too.
So you can see the intricacy of the wheels and the pulleys. That's where the cabling will go, and the gondolas will hang from there.
The wheels and the pulleys and the cabling.
So here we are, guys, at the end of the parking lot. This is the first tower that will bring the gondola system into the...
You know, as time would progress, I would learn that these are called sheaves, and it's a haul rope, and it's steel cabling, and just the different parts and pieces and what they're actually called. And that was, again, just from doing this and talking to a lot of great people and learning through experience. You know, a lot of people asked, "Oh, did you know about all this? And how do you know this?" And I didn't know. Like I said, I didn't know anything. You could see it by the videos here. I'm, you know, calling it a high wire, I think, at some point. And you know, you just learn things along the way. And then when I would learn that information, I would pass it along to you guys as well. And it was just a fun experience, learning and passing along, learning and passing it along. And you know, it was just fun for me, and I hope it was fun for you guys too. Charles, I've always imagined Peg Leg Pete coming out to do a shakedown if a guest didn't behave. That would be cool. Maybe they should incorporate something like that. One of the Disney characters coming out, or the sheriff from Nottingham from Robin Hood would be another good one, or Judge Claude Frollo coming out. I mean, all kinds of things coming out and just giving guests a hard time if they're not cooperating or something like that. Any kind of Disney magic is always good. Let's finish this one out here. I'm not sure if there's going to be much else. I think I'm just in the parking lot. Yeah, probably not much else to see here. Okay, so again, that was April the 2nd we're at. Let me take a look at my pictures and see if I had any cool pictures along the way. Probably could have been more prepared for this, but like I said, I'm having to jump around from so much stuff, and I have so much stuff saved, and not just Skyliner stuff, and just a lot of crazy stuff going on here. And let's see, Skyliner. Come on, where are you at? A professional probably would have done this a little bit better. Seriously? Come on, am I in the right spot here? So picture, Skyliner. Did I put it somewhere else? Oh, there we go. Okay, so let's see, this was again April 2nd. This is jumping ahead a little bit. This is actually a picture that I have from May 5th. I got more video and stuff prior to that, but this was the Hollywood Studios station at night on May 5th in 2018. That was pretty cool to see all the work lights and all that. Kind of imagining what it would actually look like when it was finally lit up, and what the actual station was going to look like lit up at night, and so many memories when all that stuff happened as well. Okay, so video. Get back to my videos, maybe. Okay, so April 2nd, and then we jump to April 25th. Let's take a look at April 25th, see what I have here. This is, again, going to be just stock footage. So unedited, not quite sure what we're going to see here. Let me cue it up here. Okay, so this is back at Hollywood Studios.
They have definitely made some more progress on the station here. Looks like they got some main support beams.
This is April 25th of 2018.
This is going to be where the main loading and unloading will be for Hollywood Studios.
Yeah, added more towers.
3 towers in the parking lot. And you
2 more towers they added there.
Added more down there. Looks like maybe 5 or 6. And as we'll go a little further into the parking lot, and you'll be able to see that they've added the start of a tower through the clearing out there as well. So they're definitely making a lot of progress. I think they're definitely going to be on track for summer of next year. At least that's what I'm hoping. It's going to be pretty awesome.
Hey, Matthew Browser. Oh, nice Mickey lamp. Oh, you like my lamp back here? I don't think I have it plugged in, actually. I don't think I have it plugged in. Let me plug it in real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll show it to you real quick. And actually, hang on, it gets cooler.
What a bright idea!
Can you hear that?
Lights out!
Ah?
Now you can see what you're doing. So on, pal.
Yep, that's my Disney lamp. I've had that thing forever. I love that lamp. Okay, so let's see. We're going through Hollywood Studios parking lot here. What else do we got queued up?
Get a little bit over the fence here. See a little side angle of what the tower is going to look like, or the loading and unloading station. I'm sorry.
Loading and unloading station.
Give you direct access here. You'll get off right here, right where the buses unload. You can see it just circles around, and here's the main front
Disney
entrance.
bus. Haven't seen one in forever.
So you're going to get dropped right off in front.
Who misses that music? Disney Lore, you love the lamp as well? Yeah, that's like one of my favorite things.
A little more shot over the fence here. Got the crane, some lighting, some other little towers that's kind of going up.
So those, I believe, are the pillars that you see. Those iron. That's probably the foundation work for the concrete pillars, or the that have the neon wrapped around them at the station. So that was like the bare bones of that station being built too. And let's see, continue on down here.
All right, got a little better view of the towers here. Again, they've added 2 or 3 towers. Looks like they got about 5, maybe 6 going down there now into the parking lot. And then there's also one down in the clearing as well, that the base of it is just going up.
Hey Rob, good evening to you as well. Thank you for being here. Some new people coming on. We're basically just kind of going through memory lane of the Disney Skyliner, looking at a bunch of old footage, old videos, old pictures, just kind of keeping chronological track of how things were built and when I started following it and figuring out how things would work and just having fun with it. So if you're just joining in, that's definitely what we've been doing. We are on, where are we at again here? This is April 25th of 2018 at the Hollywood Studios parking lot. Let me jump just a little further down here.
All right, we're now about 3/4 of the way down, right in front of one of the major towers. You can see really how massive this thing is. It's not too tall though. Somebody had said that they have to have access for fire trucks and their ladders, which makes a lot of sense. So it can't be tall enough that you can't access that. You can see a little further down there, there's the clearing again. And as we make the turn, again, there would be the other towers leading right into the station. Again, you got that great view of Hollywood Tower of Terror.
Yeah, again, you know, we would learn further on down the line about, you know, the height of the towers and, you know, due to evacuations and of course how those evacuations would work, and we'd see, you know, testing of evacuations and things like that. But again, it's just every time I would go out, it would be one more thing that we learn or figure out, or, you know, why isn't the tower any higher, or why, you know, why is this here, or why is, you know, something like this. You know, everything is for a reason. Everything is based around safety and logistics and things like that. So it was just kind of neat to figure out that process. You know, you walk up and down, you know, the parking lot so much. You walk in and out of these resorts so much. You just piece things together along the way. And again, this was nothing that I knew prior. You know, nothing. Again, Disney wasn't releasing anything. You know, no information about this stuff. This is just, you know, figuring it out and just sitting there and looking at it, and then having, you know, some cool people who have, you know, worked in the industry and things like that with, you know, Robbie Von Roll was a good, great person that I would talk to. And again, Von Roll was the original company who made the Skyway at in Disneyland in Walt Disney World. And so he is just, you know, a wealth of knowledge, and I learned a lot from him. Another buddy of mine, Michael, would tell me all kinds of stuff. He had worked in the industry and you know, just tell me all the little nuances of how things work and why they do these and the proper names of things. And it's just a lot of fun, and it's just kind of cool looking back on that. But again, this was April 25th at Hollywood Studios. Let me check what else I got here. So my stock footage jumps into June, so I think I have some. Let me take a look at my finished videos here. Give me 1 second. Like I said, there's so much to go through. I think I have like over 200 videos just of the Skyliner uploaded to YouTube itself. And I have, you know, hundreds of stock footage videos and stuff that I may not have used, and pictures, and, you know, stuff that I've posted, stuff that I haven't posted. So let's see, that was, April 26th, Hollywood Studios. So this jumps from April to July, so I must have skipped some stuff there. What is this? Back to, let me take a look at this real quick. So that's July. Okay, we'll go back here. This is in June. I'm not quite sure what this actually is. Give me a second. So I just have one, I'll show you this here. I just have one video here in June down at the International Gateway, and I didn't really go to the International Gateway much because there wasn't much to see there, because they hadn't like started the station itself. So they just put up a couple of these towers, so I had made it down there, and it was such kind of a pain in the neck to get to the International Gateway just to do some of these updates. So until they really started moving down there, they'd erected both these towers. So this is, I think I'm on the Friendship boat here. So those are the first towers at the International Gateway. And nothing had been done with the station yet. Let's see, David, awesome lamp. Everybody's digging on the lamp. Rob, I visited the studios in June 2019, mainly because of your coverage. I was blown away in how magical the Skyliner makes the experience of arrival. Absolutely, it's a completely different perspective. You know, just to fly in and see that view of the Hollywood Studios, or to fly in and see that view of the International Gateway, is just something that has just never been at Disney before, and it's so cool to experience that. And you know, for these couple years of just imagining it and talking about it and saying, oh, these views are going to be beautiful, and going over Hourglass Lake is going to be beautiful, and then to finally have that experience and to see it, and now, you know, it's just part of the Disney mainstream, is to have that beautiful view coming in at night and seeing fireworks from the gondolas, and so many different experiences you can have. Similar to the monorail, you know, you ride the monorail for so long and it just becomes part of your Disney blood for so long, and now the Skyliner is becoming that as well, and I think it's going to be very popular for years to come, and hopefully expand far beyond what it is now. Disney Master Chief, hello, appreciate you being here. Philip, Rob, do you have the video the night people got stuck on the Skyliner? Yeah, that is that's far away. I'm trying to stay chronological here, and this is a lot of the early stuff. Like I said, I'm going to break this up into multiple videos, and we'll probably call it here in just a little bit. I'll try to keep them to a couple hours each. But yeah, we won't get to that stuff towards the end. And even with those videos, there really wasn't much to get, because they had most of the stuff closed off, and it was just kind of a chaotic point. And I don't know, it's just that whole kind of situation just kind of bummed me out a little bit, and I didn't want to give a lot of justification to, you know, blowing out of proportion, because people really didn't know what exactly happened, and I didn't want to, you know, jump to conclusions about what happened and all that. So I think I have a little bit of footage of it, but nothing too much. But again, it's one of those things, you know, get the kink out, work the bug out, and thankfully, you know, it was just the one-time occurrence there, and they've moved on from that, and it's just amazing transportation. Cape 6, will you be going in-depth France Pavilion once it opens? Absolutely. And once Ratatouille opens, in fact, what are we? We're in June. They were technically supposed to be opening. I thought, wasn't it like May of 2020? So technically, Ratatouille was supposed to be open right now. So hopefully, when the parks reopen, Ratatouille will be open as well. So that might be kind of a cool bonus once Epcot opens. That you might just be able to go on to Ratatouille if they continued that construction along the way. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but that would be really neat if Ratatouille was close to or actually ready to go once the park reopens. Charles Rob, will never forget the first time I rode the Skyliner on the day it reopened, and we were able to meet you. Absolutely, yeah, that was very, very cool. Like I said, one of my favorite things about all this experience is, you know, meeting the people, obviously, that I chat with all the time on here, but just having those experiences of riding past, you know, my own first ride, when somebody new rides it, or you get to experience riding it with someone. It's just like going to Disney for the first time, or, you know, seeing someone go in the Magic Kingdom and seeing the castle for the first time. That first experience of having somebody ride the Skyliner, and that initial, you know, swish as you come out of the station, and, you know, they kind of look like, oh, what's happening? And then all of a sudden you're up there, and you're gliding along, and it's serene, and it's peaceful, and it's beautiful, and those nerves sort of go away that I'm up in the air, but it's actually really, really beautiful up here. So yeah, it's cool that you bring that up. Definitely riding with people has been one of the best experiences by far. Rob, they'll always be construction at Disney World. Do you plan on covering other work like you did with the Skyliner? You're great at it. Yes, whatever I can. You know, the Skyliner, I think, was a really cool in-depth project to cover, because it spans so many different areas, and there was so much to learn about it, the actual workings of it. Covering something like Ratatouille, you know, you can see the outside of the building. The other one was Coronado Springs. That was a lot of fun to cover as well. That was a pretty big project that you can get in, you can get close to, you can see it actually, you know, the tower being built and all the cool stuff that was happening around there. You know, some of the other resorts that are being built, kind of tough, like the Cove. You know, you kind of got to park, and it's off the street and things like that. So it's not like you're in a resort and you can just cover this stuff. So hopefully, you know, some cool projects will come that I can really spend some in-depth time, you know, learning about and things like that. Expansions with the Skyliner definitely would be a huge bonus to cover that kind of stuff. But yeah, like the nature resort, the Cove, you know, Tron, obviously, a lot of people do cover that stuff. This was kind of my fun niche, and I really got into it, and just had a lot of fun, you know, bringing the information that I learned to people. So hopefully something like that will definitely come along. But I appreciate you saying that I do a good job at it. Okay, so I think that's probably enough for the night. I think I've yapped enough here. Let me try to get out of this. Give me 1 second. So we are in about July of 2018, and like I said, there is a ton to go here. So I'll dedicate, you know, maybe a couple hours each time to this, and we'll see how people respond to the video with views and stuff like that, and likes. It's a different format. I'm not running around Disney World right now, which is fine, so maybe not get the huge viewer numbers, but I appreciate those of you who stuck with me here just to go down memory lane and have some fun. It's much appreciated. Definitely thank you to the super chats. JW Dasso, Disney Lori, David Cantrell, Resort Budgeting. Thank you very much for your generosity. It means a lot to me. Cape 6, will we be going? Okay, you asked me that already. Sorry. Cape 6, what's your view on the 50th anniversary? Do you think all those major plans for Epcot will speed up the cutbacks? Will be sped up with cutbacks? Basically, is it going to stay online, get everything done by the 50th? I would hope so, because I would hope that they were trying to get things done on an early timeline anyways. I don't think they were going for like Disneyland. When they opened Disneyland, they were like, the concrete was still drying. We've all heard that story. So I don't think they're cutting it to, September 30th or whatever, that, October 1st, they're all of a sudden everything's going to be done. Most of the stuff I think was already planned to get done early. Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, obviously the Skyliner, all these new entrances, the resorts. I think they were on track to try to get all that done before that. Ratatouille is another good one. So with the early thoughts, maybe they were hopefully ahead of schedule, and I think they'll be okay. As long as they get the big ones, Tron, Guardians of the Galaxy, I think those are the big ones that people are waiting for. Ratatouille should be no problem. The entrances and stuff like Hollywood Studios and Magic Kingdom and stuff, the new entrances and the new boat transportation and stuff, I don't think that's going to be an issue. The nature resorts, that's not going to happen by 2021. They've obviously got the Riviera done. They got the Coronado Springs done. So most of the major things I think will be on track, and the castle's probably painted, I would assume by now. They were redoing the castle. The train will be open once Tron is done. So I think they'll be on track. Excuse me. Fingers crossed that they'll be on track. Rob, you're a good dude. Rob, keep up the good work. Thank you so much. We Too Disney and Beyond. I miss Disney. Love 176 days. Can't wait. Thanks for sharing Disney with us. You are very, very welcome. Another countdown. I love seeing countdowns again. I haven't seen them forever. It's nice to see people with Disney countdowns again. 2000 Dan LB. Rob, thank you for all the effort you put into covering the construction of the Skyliner. You are very welcome. Again, it's just a fun thing going down memory lane. You may enjoy it, may not. I'm getting a kick out of it just personally. So, just kind of reliving some of the experiences. And as we get further along, I got some cool footage, I remember the first, in the middle of the night, like 3 o'clock in the morning, at seeing the first arm, the first carrier arm for the gondola going across to the Hollywood Studios from Caribbean Beach. And it was moving just really slow. It was the middle of the night. It was the very first motion that we saw on that, and I got that footage, and that was cool. And then, of course, the uncovering of the gondolas and the stations being lit up at night, and just all kinds of cool moments like that. The first maintenance gondolas that we saw going back and forth, all that footage is we'll get into that as well, and just have a lot of fun talking about it. So, Laura, your videos made me want to ride the Skyliner more. It's now one of my favorite things to do. Have a blessed evening. There you go. See, it's one of the things too. If it's something that I overcame, the heights thing, riding gondolas and lift systems like that, and was nothing that I would have done in the past, but just learning about it and experiencing it, and getting really to the position that, okay, this is something I got to do. The Skyliner, that's like my favorite thing, so I got to go do it, of course. So we just got on and did it, and it's beautiful, and hopefully other people are inspired by that. Just like you, and you ride it, because it is such a peaceful, beautiful experience up there, and it's so serene, and it's so wonderful. Philip, good night. Charles, Operation Green Side Up. Cape 6 400 days till I'm at Disney. There you go. I love the countdowns again. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for being here. And we will do this. I don't know when the next one will be. We'll do some other stuff along the way too. And I definitely will be going to the parks and back to Disney Springs. And this is just for the time being to have something fun to do. And we'll give Mickey one more shot here.
Ah, that's better.
There you go.